Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Wednesday, the 10th of December, 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai or your post pot on chain. Alright, let's quickly go see what we've got today. Going to go through some posts on my feed. Going to have to talk about this, I'm afraid, and that. Dear oh dear. Got some posts here from Bitcoin Dictionary that we'll go through. Some posts here from CSW. And then we will quickly run through the figures to see what's up with what is going down. Oh, there we go. We got some 365 days of Bitcoin history. And then we'll finish with the Kellenschweller countdown. Right, let's get into it.
Greg says he's Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong and transactions flying free. He's acclaiming his legacy, you'll surely see.
Alrighty, here we go. Right, so let's go through some posts on my feed. So I've just written this post here in response to other posts that we'll go through in just a minute. So bear with me on that one. Check this one out. So this was from the guys over at Smart Ledger who were at Washington, D.C. the other day. Couldn't quite figure out what was on that board at the back. So I've just got it here. So it looks like it's monitoring weather. So they've got forecast, temperature, wind speed, solar radiation, rainfall, and lightning strikes. So that solved that little mystery there. Gonna talk about that in a second. Ketones, not glucose, said here. How has no one in the BSV ecosystem produced a full documentary laying out the real 17-year history of Bitcoin from Genesis to now? The stories, gonna drama, innovate, betrayal, and proof. So my response to that was, I could do this. Yep, got it all. Well, got most of it. I mean, there's so much that went on, but in terms of the main key points, yeah, I've got most of them, so I could easily make like an hour and a half long documentary on it. In fact, I've got so much material, it would be quite a challenge fitting it into an hour and a half, but that's what would have to be done because that's the general time length, but that could be a challenge for me. Just had to bring this one up again. This is why the world needs Bitcoin, because politics is going absolutely bonkers. Britain is broken, as said here. Breaking, Portsmouth Council bans Christmas wreaths and threatens to fine anybody who has one. Again, no fines or forfeitures without conviction from a jury of peers. Totally unlawful. Putting a wreath on your own home. It's ridiculous. Welcome to Britain in 2025, where you're not allowed to celebrate Christmas in case you offend somebody. Portsmouth Council ought to be ashamed of themselves, absolutely. So the post here says, Killjoy Council bans Christmas door wreaths and threatens to fine those who leave them up. Portsmouth City Council sent out hundreds of letters warning their tenants not to engage in the festivities. Like, what? How dare they? How dare they? Don't, enjoying in the festivities. What are they doing having festivities then? Like, absolutely outrageous. But we know the Satanists trying to take over. It's an attack directly on Christendom. That's what it is. And they're using other religions to do it. No limit said here. Okay, we'll have a look at this one. Breaking, this is huge for crypto. Most people have no idea what they're looking at, but they should. If they're holding any amount of crypto, you need to see this. The US Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, the OCC, just issued an interpretive letter confirming that national banks are now allowed to engage in riskless principal transactions involving crypto assets. So he says, let me translate that into normal language. Banks can buy crypto assets from one party, so they can buy and hold it, instantly resell it to another party, so either brokerage or use of a wallet, without ever holding inventory risk, all allegedly sanctioned by the OCC. He continued, again, this guy's a shitcoiner, remember. This means one thing, US banks now have regulatory green light to act as intermediaries in the crypto markets. Why this matters, this is the exact mechanism banks use in traditional markets to scale liquidity. It opens the door for deeper institutional flow, or whatever. It pushes crypto further into the core banking system. Well, I mean, they're using it. So from outside, it's going to look like they're legitimizing it, but where we really know is what they're trying to dilute the credibility of it. But it's another story. And it signals that regulators aren't trying to kill crypto, they're trying to integrate it. Actually, they're trying to dilute it, but we'll let him off. Getting a bit over enthusiastic about it here, shooting his load. People keep waiting for mass adoption like it's a single event. In reality, it happens quietly, buried in documents like this one. Oh, well, no, actually, it will happen like real quick once utility is recognized. But again, that's what they're hiding. He says, circle this date. This is one of those moments we'll look back on and say, that's when the door really opens. I called the bottom at 16k and the top at 126k. Did you really? And I'll do it again because this is what I'm good at. Pay close attention. You'll wish you followed me sooner, really. So this was Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, December 9th, 2025. Subject, national bank engagement in riskless principal transactions in crypto assets. But the fact is they're talking about crypto assets. So to the layperson, it actually looks like they're trying to legitimize them. Dear Mr. Laybugger, this responds to your request for confirmation that national banks may engage in riskless principal crypto transactions described below with and on behalf of their customers. In connection with recent applications, several applicants have stated their intention to engage in riskless principal crypto asset transactions. Yeah, I think we get the gist of it there, but worth reporting on. This is definitely worth reporting on. Check this out. Ziggy has responded to Near Protocol saying, welcome Near Protocol to the 1 million TPS club. We've been waiting for over 1.5 years for someone to join us. More interestingly, have you also joined the Trez Compass club? Now, Near Protocol. I don't know that they've got anything to do with BSV. So, I mean, even if they've got 1 million transactions per second on a network, okay, congratulations, but it's still not on a commoditized digital network. So whether you've got 1 million transactions or 1 billion or 1 trillion, they can all be wiped like that. So no point. So Near Protocol, they're saying they've achieved 1 million transactions per second in a public verifiable benchmark, a monumental milestone for blockchain scalability. Oh, so they're saying they can do it, but I mean that's 1 million transactions per second. The Terranode team have done 10 million transactions per second, and gone up to 80 million transactions per second. Literally, the Terranode guys are 10x in front of this lot. 10x. Like this lot are years behind, years and years behind. They will never catch up. But the fact is, they've achieved 1 million transactions per second on digital network that can just simply be deleted. So congratulations, but you've just wasted a huge amount of time. Maybe prove something technical, but if data can just be deleted, it's utterly pointless. That's the whole point of having the Bitcoin network. Data cannot be deleted. It's the only way. It's the only way to do it. Is the Bitcoin protocol. So if you want to make sure your data can't be deleted, you'll just simply use the Bitcoin protocol. And these guys have scaled to like 80 million transactions per second. Oh, they're gonna learn the hard way. All these shitcoiners. Talking about shitcoiners, I've got a post here from Bitcoin Dictionary. Check this out. He said, simple pleb math for $1 million per BSV. Today, a transaction costs 0.05 sats, equals sort of half a penny. At $1 million per BSV, that same 0.5 sat fee becomes 0.000005 cents. 5 billionths of a dollar. Miners don't need big fees. They'll be doing billions of transactions per second. Terranode. More volume, fees keep dropping, not rising. Plus overlay bundles, millions of payments into one cheap settlement, fraction of a penny. So yeah, coffee still costs under a cent, even when one BSV equals a Bugatti. That's the whole point. Loving that. Loving that. When one BSV equals a Bugatti. I think that's worth finding out the price of a Bugatti. Bugatti price. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. There we go. Right, what's the cheap? So it looks like the cheapest Bugatti Veyron is $1.9 million. Check it out. Bugatti Chiron, 2.9 million. Bugatti Mistral Roadster, 5 million. Bugatti Divo, 5.4 million. Bugatti Centodosi, 8.6 million. And a Bugatti La Voiture Noire, 12 million. Whoa. There we go. So yeah, coffee still costs under 1 cent, even when one BSV equals a Bugatti. That's the whole point. I think Bitcoin Dictionary knows that we're planning on BSV skyrocketing way past $1.9 million per coin. He knows it. He knows it. Loving that. That was well worth the read. Well worth the read. Talking about another read, again, Shakara Aslan Pereira said here, Bitcoin's dirty secret, the halving never mattered. Again, that's the dirty secret, saying the halving never mattered. In other words, it does matter. He said, after 16 years and 4 halvings, the data is finally conclusive. Every single post-halving rally in Bitcoin history coincided with major central bank liquidity events. Not one can be isolated. In the 2012 halving, the Cyprus banking crisis happened. I think that's where they stole everybody's funds from the bank. Absolutely outrageous. 2016 halving, post-quantitative easing environment and the ICO boom. 2020 halving, the Fed balance sheet doubled to $9 trillion. 2024 halving, ETFs front ran it. Price peaked before the event. The correlation between a Bitcoin, that's Gridcoin, and global M2 money supply, 0.94. The correlation between halvings and price with only 4 data points, statistically meaningless. August 2024 proved everything. Bank of Japan raised rates 0.19%. Bitcoin crashed 25% in 72 hours. $1 billion liquidated. 300,000 trades wiped out. That was not a halving, that was liquidity. But here's what nobody is discussing. Transaction fees represent 1 to 4% of miner revenue. The block subsidy funds 96% of network security. Every halving cuts that subsidy in half. Princeton University research conclusion, no proof of work currency has ever operated solely on transaction fees. I think there's... what are they going on about there? Solely on transaction fees, but it will do. Satoshi himself hedged. There will probably always be nodes willing to process transactions. Probably. We are 95% through Gridcoin's issuance schedule. 29 halvings remain. The people who will witness the 20th halving have not been born. The halving provides scarcity. Liquidity provides price. Not really. It's desire and demand that provides price. The fee transition remains completely unresolved. US debt 38 trillion. Fed ended QT December 1st, 2025. Gold all-time high, $4,371. The next liquidity wave is coming. Watch the central banks, not the block height. Well, the 4-year cycle is dead. The monetary experiment continues. The existential question remains unanswered. Yeah, well, I presume that's about transactions, is it? This is not bearish. This is not bullish. This is what the evidence actually shows. So read the deep dive analysis here. So let's have a look. Bitcoin powered paradigm shift, halving delusion versus liquidity, reality, and the unresolved fee transaction. Well, I should have had that picture up of the fees. Block reward goes down, transaction fees go up, as Bitcoin Dictionary has literally just explained. But I mean, shitcoiners just don't get it. So, they spend all this time trying to explain it because they don't actually really understand it. Starmer Out has said here, wait, what? Why is Rowley going on about Freemasons inside Met Police? Well, probably because that's where all of them are. Put fire on this one. The storm has arrived, said President Trump sent that over the next couple of months. This was on the 9th of December. There will be evidence coming out proving that the 2020 election was stolen. He said it was a rigged election. Now everybody knows it. It's going to come out over the next couple of months too, loud and clear, because we have all the information. Let's effing go. One thing I know is that the American public outside of X needs to understand how rigged and faked our elections are before we have another election in this country. Again, yeah. Interesting he said outside of X. Honestly, I think X is the only platform where things aren't censored. Literally. You know, I noticed the fact that I get all this stuff on X and literally going around all these other platforms. Literally, X appears to be like the only platform that has reasonable, rational debate where you have two sides to the argument. So you can actually sort of like understand the truth. Or literally, I don't know any other platform apart from Tree Chat, obviously. And Twitch, if they come out, would be good. This is another post to demonstrate why the world needs Bitcoin. This is absolutely insane. Have a listen to what this poor girl has got to say.
Count your fucking days, Coles, because in what reality are 2 cucumbers this size, yeah, measly, worth $7 whole? Have you lost your mind? I just went and did, not even a grocery shop, I just went and got like noodles, soy sauce, the fucking $1 million cucumbers apparently, tofu, $60. A few other bits and pieces, but like...
That is nuts.
$60. It's cheaper for me to order out, takeout, for 2 whole people with sides than what it is to go and get like bare minimum groceries. And isn't that because the CEO is busy taking home like $40 million a year?
Mate, we're in the apocalypse right now at Australian supermarkets. $6.20 for a fucking tube of Pringles. Mate, what is wrong with society?
What the fuck?
Every time I think Australia cannot get more expensive, I'm proved wrong.
Australia is a fucking rort, bruh. The system, rort. Get this shit, right? Fucking green slip. $750. Rego, $660. I get an overdue fine, didn't even get the fucking first fine for not voting. The first fine, $55. Overdue fine, 120 fucking bucks, bro. I'm an apprentice. How am I meant to afford this shit? 2 fucking paychecks that cost me. 2 full paychecks of mine. Down the fucking drain, bro. Australia needs to fix its shit. We can't live like this no more.
So I bought 3 items. The cheapest hummus, cheapest butter, cheapest cheese slices for the kids. $18.40. How are people doing this?
I don't know if it's just me or has the grocery prices in Australia gone up again. Have a look at this. Since when was milk $10? Drinking around 2 to 3 litres of milk per day. That's literally $70 a week on milk. What?
Okay, what the fuck is going on with food right now?
So living out here in Australia is crazy. Let me show you.
30 cans of Coke for $50.
This block of cheese, nearly $14. $4.90 on offer for chocolate. No thanks. $7 just for some milk. How am I going to survive out here?
Holy shit. That is, it's coming. It's coming everywhere. And they're doing it on purpose. They're literally destroying the economy with inflation. And this is why the world needs Bitcoin. But, you know, over here, people are going to rebel more. You know, the government's already been called out on their bullshit. Are people going to part with a lot? You know, farmers are striking. I guess what people in Australia may be more laid back, but they're starting to realise. But the country's sparse, and the cabal have got grips on everything. There's absolutely no need for food prices to be that high at all. They're just simply raising the base products of all the industries, raising the prices because they control them. That's it. There's just it's heartbreaking what they're doing. Evil bastards is what's going on. Check this out. So the Cointelegraph says a US banking regulator clears national banks to facilitate crypto transactions. I think that was the letter that we just read from the Office of the Controller of the Currency. The guidance confirms that facilitating customer crypto trades falls within the business of banking, expanding the range of activities that national banks may offer under existing law. Yeah, the US Office of the Controller of the Currency has confirmed that national banks can intermediate cryptocurrency trades as riskless principles without holding the asset on their balance sheet. So wallet providers, by the sounds of it. That was what we just looked at. Yeah, interesting. This is the Kalergi plan. So this profile here says the mayor of London hates British people. Look at this. This was posted. Look, white families just don't represent real Londoners, says Khan's staff guidelines. Mayor forced to withdraw advice on which photos will best promote his brand after critics label it racist and divisive. Absolutely, it's racist and divisive. There's no way you should be allowed in there at all. It's disgraceful. Another reason why the world does need Bitcoin. So Real Robert said here, and here it is: documents obtained by investigative journalists through the Freedom of Information Act confirms beyond the shadow of a doubt the Department of Justice and FBI uncovered a massive 2020 ballot fraud operation based in Michigan and operated in multiple swing states, funded by Joe Biden's 2020 presidential campaign, covered up by Christopher and his mistress, Michigan AG Dana Nessel. GBI Strategies got caught for submitting fraudulent voter registrations during the 2020 election. Following a raid, Michigan authorities discovered caches of prepaid gift cards, firearms equipment with silencers, and disposable burner phones. Throughout the 2020 election period, these Democratic cartel election committees provided more than $4 million to the particular organization. Biden for President, Democratic Senatorial Campaign, DNC Service Corp, and Democratic Party of Iowa. Honestly, it is absolutely outrageous what is going on. The criminality and corruption worldwide. And again, this is why the world needs Bitcoin. Everything needs to run on it. Everything needs to run on it. A really funny post here. They've said, what's a good metaphor for BTC? A large empty closet. That's such a weird, spot on. That's so funny. And that was in response to me saying, this is fine. Breaking the 21 Capital just transferred 43,500 BTC worth $4.5 billion. And they were willing to sacrifice or willing to forego a $1.5 billion loss. Or else the loss is going to get bigger. Oof. And Drogo has said here, satanic paedophile cults are not a conspiracy theory. 764 is some of the worst of them. They're being arrested in mass, and many people don't realise how big of a deal this is. And again, it's all blackmail and everything, all funded by the central banks. And again, another reason why the world needs Bitcoin. First of all, we just showed you that video of these young people struggling in Australia. And check this out. It said, this is why the world needs Bitcoin. F the central banks and their satanic agenda. Because that's what it is. Have a listen to this.
Breaking in America. Something is breaking in America, folks. And it's not subtle anymore. Groceries are up 25% since 2020. Housing up 45%. Rent declared unaffordable in 98% of U.S. counties. People aren't downsizing. They're being priced out of existence. Right now, over 1.9 million Americans live in vehicles. That number has tripled since 2018, and it's climbing fast. Not because people want adventure, but because the system stopped working for them. Everyone feels it. The pressure, the squeeze, the quiet collapse in slow motion. But here's the part they don't want to talk about. Nomad life is no longer an alternative lifestyle. It's becoming a survival strategy and a movement. Every single day, thousands more join the road. Not homeless, systemless, not lost, unplugged. If you feel like society is cracking, you're not alone. This is the transition era, and you are watching a new America being built on wheels.
Again, this is how the cabal are destroying it. If you want to destroy something on a mass scale, you have to do it through economics. There's no economics and war. There's no other way. And funnily enough, this is why they start wars as well as destroy things economically. Heartbreaking, really. And again, this is why they're attacking BSV. So look at this. We've got shitcoiners. Literally, they are infiltrating BSV, and they're probably going to hoodwink a lot of newbies when they come in. So I have no idea what this scumbag profile is. They've only got like 200 follows. But again, we all know that quantum resistant bullshit is a load of crap. And this one's going, oh, BSV Quantum Vault, now open source. Oh dear. Built a quantum resistant wallet for BSV using SHA-256 hash locks and instead of ECDSA elliptic curve digital something. No signatures, massive red flag. Again, no quantum vulnerability, load of bullshit. No signature, no contractual credibility, economically worthless. Broken the chain of signatures, that's it, you've made a security offering. So do not touch this wallet with a barge pole. It said full Node.js implementation, who gives them monkeys. Free for devs to fork and build. Yeah, that's right, yeah, just fork the protocol. Yeah, fork it, you know, make some shit coins. This is a nefarious profile here. And look at this. Move along here. Look, created vault. It begins with a 3. It's a multi-sig address, created vault. So when you're sending to a multi-sig address, there is no one single individual accountable and responsible for your funds. You will never get them back. It's a trap. Don't fall for it. It's absolute bullshit. And another one here. This, I don't know who Aftermeta is as well. They're saying, oh, only 24 hours to go. Time for the BSV community to prove it isn't just loud but lethal. Let's see who actually shows up. And this profile here says here, meme coin launchpad on BSV coming soon. We don't need a fucking shitcoin launchpad, meme coin, shitcoin bullshit. So again, all this profile and the other profile that we just looked at, again, they're all cabal creations. You know, it's just simply a distraction to keep people away from Bitcoin and to discredit BSV. So stay away from these absolute effing scumbags. Total scumbags. And in response to that, actually, yeah, let's just go to my profile here because I just wrote this because people are still confused about why the #1 legacy address matters, which is why I just wrote this really quickly. So I said Bitcoin is one signature, one legacy wallet address, one living man and woman responsible and accountable for each and every single transaction on the network in a private transaction with other individuals. Having a Bitcoin legacy address starting with #1 is part of the template for the Bitcoin protocol. Any change to the Bitcoin protocol will be reflected in a fundamental change to this template. A multi-sig address obfuscates responsibility and accountability by holding multiple signatures when you should only be sending to one, so that you have lawful recourse against an individual if you do not receive the good or service you expected, or they simply do a runner with your funds. You need to prove who you sent them to, so you've got recourse against them. This is why you should always check to see that the Bitcoin legacy addresses you are sending to start with a #1 or simply use a paymail address provided by a reputable wallet provider. And those paymail addresses will always be sent to a #1 legacy address. So just stay away from those shysters that we just saw. Let's have a look at Bitcoin Dictionary, see some of his posts. Here we go. We've already done that pleb math one. Check it out. 1 BSV equals a Bugatti. That's going to be the title for this show. Bitcoin Dictionary continues. He says a 1 billion TPS on BSV isn't a milestone. It's the extinction event for fiat, banks, Visa, and every rent-seeking middleman alive. 86 trillion transactions a day equals $8.6 billion daily miner revenue from fees alone. A 1/100th of a cent average fee, every AI interface, every Internet of Things heartbeat, every human breath of value, settled instantly, immutable for fractions of a penny. At 1 billion transactions per second, the price floor isn't 10k or 100k, it's $1 million per coin, because the entire planet's economy is running on it and there's only 21 million BSV. Fiat dies screaming. CBDCs become BSV sidechains, begging for mercy. The unbanked become the new billionaires. Terranode is already doing millions. 1 billion is scheduled. TikTok vampires, your era is over in 3, 2, and we've got a cucumber there. Loving that. Loving that from Bitcoin Dictionary. I'd recommend everybody give it a follow. That's brilliant. Love the humour there. Love the humour. He continues, BSV Terranode, not vaporware. It's hitting 4 to 6 million TPS in 2025 tests, with phased rollouts. 10 million in 2026, 100 million mid-year. Then overlay channels for 1 billion leap by 2028. That is just absolutely massive, massive. Let's see what CSW's got to say here. So 6 hours ago, again, he looks like he's still having beef with this fiber optic buffoon. So it says here, yeah, here we go again. Deny human nature like every other cultist. Then sprint around yelling, it's scientific, while trampling the first scientific principle. The method matters more than your feelings. This is always the routine. You slap a lab coat on a belief system, ignore the literature, and call anyone who asks for evidence a heretic. And don't try that little game with me. He says, I haven't read the book. I have. I said I have. He calls bullshit. I show him I own it. Kindle, 2 devices, the receipt's right there. Then it's, oh, show me where, show me what page, blah, 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 blah. Shifting the goalpost like a toddler who just learned the word prove. At some point, you stop debating and start babysitting. Maybe he's 9. If he isn't, he's doing a convincing impression. The larger point is simple, and it's embarrassing. It even needs saying in 2025. You people keep trying to sell this off-focus leftist socialist cult packaged as science, but you can't even spell the difference between science and Scientology with a trademarked vibe. Science isn't a slogan or personality. Science is a method. You follow the method, you take the evidence where it goes, and you don't throw a tantrum when it doesn't land on your pre-ordered conclusion. If you can't do that, you're not doing science, you're doing religion with a PDF. Absolutely, absolutely. Nailed it there. Right, that was pretty great. 31 minutes already. Where does the time go? We've got a great coin, $93,000. The liquidation price for the short was $95,000, and the liquidation price for the long is what, $83,000. Get your popcorn ready, folks. It's going to be fireworks. B crash, what a joke. Fisher price cash, who cares? Bitcoin at $21. Top left 2029. Network hash rate 0.03. Network nodes 0.00. Transaction score climbing up a bit, 33.19. Block size 70%. Let's have a look at the data coming through. There we go. Nothing to write home about there. It's 30,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gregcoin. You're mining Bitcoin at a 7.7% comparable loss. It's all right. You know, just goes to show you what the miners are willing to sacrifice for Bitcoin. Let's have a look at the politics in the pie charts. Global hash rate 7 days, 24 hours. Gregcoin hash rate. Other miners 7.64. Bcrash other miners 15.2. Fisher price cash, who cares? Other miners 1.39. Look at that. What's L Software? DMCC on there, whatever. And CoinDance not reporting the figures there. We'll have to look at what's on chain. Ooh. QD Link front running the charge 16.6, Tal 16.67, SA100 15.94, Coup 15.2, others 12.3, Gorilla Pool 11.95. Well done then. Tal Terranode 7.25, Mining Dutch 4.35. Transactions there 241,526. Just cross-reference that here with what's on chain. Here we go. Lovely jubbly. Just check in that a human is human and the machine's doing the verifying. Really? Okay, we'll have one more go at this. Can't be dealing with this again. Oh, there we go, yep. 241,288 transactions over the last 24 hours. Yep, looks right. First sat ordinals transactions count 197,976 and money 5,014. All right, nice. The tether weather then just quickly. So 185.7 billion to 186. So they've just pumped 250 million. That's 250 million they've just pumped in there today. 250 million. God, it's a huge number. Just got to keep the scam going. Ridiculous. Money still at 100 million. Nice. Short ratio 0.21. CoinSpot 24-hour trade volume almost back up to 30 million. Look at the prices going up and down there. All over the shop. Upbit 24-hour trade volume $500,000. There's not a lot. Huobi, yeah, $500,000 almost, or 5.8 million, $5.8 million. Gate.io, really? Do one. MEXC, yeah, what we'd expect there. Price 20.25. Orange X, oh, nice little Christmas hat there. All right, yep. Price just plodding along there. Up and down, yep. Bitcoin versus Gregcoin. Okay, just losing out a little bit there. Gregcoin being pumped. Let's have a look at Bitcoin versus US dollar. Yeah, trending sideways. Orange Gateway, Bitcoin versus Gregcoin. Yeah, going just down a bit. Remember, we've got a Bugatti coming. Come on, come on. Orange Gateway. Overall market, just $3 trillion. Gregcoin 92. Yeah, 24-hour high. Still haven't touched 95 yet. Oof. Got close though, didn't it? Squeaky bum time for that short position. Trade volume just 3.3%. Keep your eye on the graphs on the right hand side as we scroll down. Yep, you can say they're all looking similar there. All looking similar. Bitcoin at 81 in market ranking cap. 3.3% trade volume. Oh, it just went up and then came down a little bit. 365 days of Bitcoin history on the 10th of December 2008. There was this email from Satoshi Nakamoto saying, welcome to the Bitcoin mailing list. Hey, check it out. December 10, that was obviously set up by Craig. The following year, 10th of December 2009, there were questions about Bitcoin. Where was this from? Yeah, so these were questions on the Nakamoto Institute a year later. Excellent. People wanting knowledge. Same day, a quote here from Satoshi Nakamoto, those coins can never be recovered. The total circulation is less. Since the effective circulation is reduced, all the remaining coins are worth slightly more. It's the opposite of when a government prints money and the value of existing money goes down. Yeah, so all those coins that people have like lost the keys to, don't know where they are, it just shrinks the supply, makes them more valuable. That's it. 10th of December 2015, on Bitcoin Talk, they said, why is there such a big problem with Satoshi? Good question. Why is there such a big problem with Satoshi? So Cav Ching CoinDev said here, so this Craig Wright claims to be Satoshi. December 2015. It has the media and half the Bitcoin community up in arms. Why is it such a big deal? The whole point of Bitcoin was to have nobody controlling it. Whether or not Craig is Satoshi, why does anyone care? It isn't important to Bitcoin at all. The miners and the people who transact via Bitcoin are more vital to its survival than finding Satoshi ever will be. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But the reason the issue with Satoshi is because the cabal knew that they were going to fork and F up Bitcoin. And Craig was going to, if he was Satoshi, he would be like, look, this is the original Bitcoin chain. That's the fork. So they stole the ticker symbol. That's the issue. That's their problem with Satoshi. But now we know. 10th of December 2015, this alleged Bitcoin scam looked a lot like a pyramid scheme. 5 men faced federal charges for bilking investors. I think it's meant to be milking investors for $722 million by inviting them to buy shares in Bitcoin mining pools. Oh dear, oh dear. This alleged Bitcoin scam looked a lot like a pyramid scheme. Oh no, yeah. Charges for bilking investors. So that's what went on. Crikey, that's 722 million. Oh, that's three quarters of a billion. 750 million. Scams were just massive back then. Massive back then, because people had no idea what was going on. Good grief. Right, there we go. That is a 39-minute show. Wasn't expecting it to be that long, but remember, they've got those scam accounts popping up offering, quantum resistant wallets and meme coin platforms. Just stay away from that shit and help warn all the newbies that come flooding in. That's why those accounts have popped up, because I suspect they are anticipating a huge flood of people coming in, especially when Bitcoin Dictionary predicts that one Bitcoin is going to be worth more than a Bugatti. Come on. So we're now the 10th of December. We're on day 83 of the Challenge Dweller Countdown. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss you're not going to want to miss this when it finishes. It's going to be absolutely epic, just like Bitcoin Dictionary predicts. So until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.